I have up the volley to put zinc in, and then I've got the ridge tiles to sort out and move. So if I can do that today, I'll be quite impressed. There's also another bit round the back. I'll just go around and show you. I have these ridge tiles here to sort out it as well, and I've got a fancy three-way join up at the top to do, so I'm not sure I'm going to do that, but I'm sure we'll suss it out. Right, we'll get on with it. Okay, first up, we'll take this length of guttering off. It's just sat in, so I'll get that done. Okay, so here's where volley we're going to be zinking it. I've just put this polythene over the winter just to get us through the winter, but now I need to strip the tiles all the way up both sides so I can get the zinc in, so I'll get cracking on with that. Okay folks, that's how the tiles stripped back. The ridge caps were screwed down. They're quite funky design. They've got little clips, so that'll sit like that, and then the next ridge tile will slot into there, and then you screw the other side and you just keep going the whole way along, and that's then fixed solid. So that's quite a clever detail the French have with their ridge tiles. You don't need to cement them in or anything. The tiles, they're quite cool as well. They're all interlocking four sides, so like I can show you, the interlocking here, overlap here, overlap at the top, and they're really cool. There's no chance of them blowing off. Right, so enough of my drivel. I'm standing at the ridge, and my temporary fix has actually worked very good. I'm quite chuffed with that actually. So I'll go get a brush it out and find the zinc. Okay, here's the zinc I got. Now I was looking over the short I did about come and help me fit this, and I'm noticing the writing is going to be on the top side, which leads me to believe that this is actually ridge capping, but it's the right angle, it's the right size, so there's no reason why it can't work for a volley. It's even got the wee lip to keep the water in the channel. But what I'm going to do here is, right, I'm going to want about 4 inches of an overlap. In fact, I'll go 5 inches, 125mm overlap. So I'll just mark that. Now, when the next piece of zinc goes on, if I hold it to this line, it'll be 5 inches, and the water will just shoot down the thing. But what I also need to do here is open up this lip. I need to open it up so the next piece will slip in, and then I just fold it back and get a wee chop with a hammer just to lock it in place. So I'll see how this is going to work. I'll get a screwdriver and get started with the turning up of the lip. Okay, so I'll just get a chisel in here and open it up. Same on this side. Yeah, open it up. You can go past your 5 inch mark, that doesn't matter because you're topping it back down anyway, so. Right, that should be fine. So that's opened up. Now I need to do another one, the top one when I have this, because it'll be hidden up under the ridge tiles. But what I will have to do up the top is probably cut sort of a 45 on them to match the roof line of the ridge. But I'll suss that out when I get there. So I'll start with the bottom first, and then do the middle one, and then I'll just cut the top one to suit. I might have a funky bit to do at the bottom of the first one as well, but we'll see about that when we get up there. Right, so we're at the bottom of the valley here. Now what I'm needing to do is I'm gonna need to do something. I might have it down about there, and I'll sort of, I might just sort of have a wee turn like that, maybe even down here. Because this will be running into my gutter, so that whole way. And what I'll do is I'll down turn it slightly, just to give it a lip so the water doesn't blow back up. Yeah, I think that'll look pretty good. It fits absolutely perfect, eh? You'd almost think it was made for that. Right, I'll go cut that. I'll probably just do it with a grinder. Maybe 10 snips, I don't know yet. Probably grinder. Okay, here's what I've ended up with. I've cut it to my mark. I've given it 10mm, ½ inch of a lip, but here it still needs a wee bit of topping, so I can fine tinker that. I'm just wondering if I can get the gutter in with that in place. I might just make it. Yeah, I think I will. Right, okay, so that's not a problem. Right, so that's the first thing ready to go. What I'm going to do is put just a couple of screws up the top there. I don't have any nails for it. No, I don't. And what I'll do in the middle is cut a little notch, bend it up, put a screw in there and fold it back over. And same probably at the bottom here. I'll get a couple of screws in under the lip, so that'll never leak, so that'll be good. Right, I'll go get my screw gun and my snips and do that. Right, I've got my zinc up, I've fine tuned that, so it's looking a bit better. I'm happier with that. I'm going to cut a little notch here because it's on the counter button for the zinc, and I'll probably put one about here. So I'll just get my snips here, see if I can do this one-handed. Right, so I'll go there. Just a teeny wee tab, that's all I'm needing. Okay, and I'll fold that back. be like a razor blade, this stuff, so if you're doing it for yourself, just be pretty careful. Right, and I'll do one here. It's just enough for a screw to go into it, and then what I'll do is once I get the screw in, I'll just fold that top back over. Alright, I will screw that up. Okay, so I'll just show you what I'm doing here. I'll just screw in there, screw it in. That's perfect. And I'll just fold that tab over, and same with that one. It shouldn't leak, so that should be fine. Right, same there, same up the top. Okay, so up the top I have the two screws going into the overlap just as high up as I can. Here's my 5-inch overlap. Now this is quite a shallow pitched roof. It's only 28 degrees, which on our permit it says that's the minimum allowed for these roof tiles. These are Tuile Romaine, they're called. You get Tuile Canal, which are like the ones you see in Spain, like the half cupped ones. We could either have the Romaine or the Canal, but we weren't allowed to have Canal Romaine, which is basically the same as this, but it looks like there's two tiles, so there'll be another ridge sort of bit there. So yeah, I don't know. So that's something to look out for in your French permit. Now I can get this next one on. It's just a straight off piece, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some roofing mastic stuff and just put a bead on, because I'm not wanting any blowback. So I'll go find that, and then I'll explain when the... Okay, here's how we're going to be sitting. It's basically just going to... These bits here are going to slot in to this bit here. But what I'm going to do is just right up the top, just give this just a wee bead. This stuff is for gutters, and if you have an emergency, you have a hole in your roof, it's got the consistency of Hubba Bubba that's been well chewed, stringy. It's good stuff. It doesn't set, so it always remains sort of malleable. Is that the right word? I don't know. Right, so we'll get this in down here, there, and I need 4 hands. Right, I just need to widen that a wee bit. Okay, that's her in there. Now I haven't got my hammer up with me, but I have my pair of pliers. I'll just chop this over. Yeah, I can't do this with just 2 hands, so I'll just top that over and show you. Okay, that's our top nearly flat. I'll go get my hammer and just tidy that up. Right, okay, this time just 2 screws up the top and 2 in the middle there. I'll do that. Okay, that's that one fed. Now I've just to do the top. So as you can see, I'm going to have quite an angle on it here. It's going to come right up, and I'll probably just cut it like that. I'll get the bit up and see how it's going to look. Aye. Oh, we'll suss it out. Right. Okay folks, that's our cut. That's the 3 pieces fitted. It's come up better than I thought it was. Right, now it's just a case of get the tiles back down. So with these tiles we need to start at the bottom and work our way up. So I will see if I can get a video getting them relaid again. Right, I'll set this up. Well, that's one side done. Couple of tiles just to move for this side. But I was going to video it, and then I realised that it was going to be one major pain in the arse. So I've done this side. Now I'm going to do this side after a cup of tea, and then yeah, that'll be it. Well, watertight now, proper watertight. Now in France they use zinc. They use zinc pretty much all the time, because in summer it gets that hot, lead can't cope with it apparently, so they use zinc. So if you're planning using lead, unless you're up north, I would reconsider. I mean, the zinc's cheaper. These were like 30 quid each, and it took what, 20 minutes to fit. If you were with lead it'd be hours, I'd imagine. So cup of tea, finish that side, and then I'll show you what it looks like at the end. Okay folks, that's the volley done. Okay, tiles are done. So now we're on to the ridge. Now I've I've got my size for the end there, and I've got the whole row to do. It was about 6 inches out because the last one was too short, so I've just moved them all up. So anyway, here's a clip. You just screw it in. Next tile just goes, clips in, gets seated, and then we get a screw, put another clip on it. Screw it up, and that's it, locked in place. Solid, just going nowhere. Right, I've got about 20 tiles to do, so I'll show you that when I'm done. Okay, I have to cut this end one to length, which is basically just snip this overlap off, and I'll bang that on. But that's the whole lot done there. That's about 10-15 minutes work. So it's no big jobs, but aye, they're still time consuming if you don't know what you're doing, you know. Right, I'll cut this and bang it on, and then I'll do that funky bit at the end. Right, so you can now see what I'm faced with here. I have 3 tiles meeting at a point, so I need to cut this one and the one under it at an angle, and then somehow get this one to fit into it. So that's not going to be easy, but I've never been beaten yet, so I'll give it a bash. Wish me luck. Okay, so this is what I've kind of come up with. It's fitting pretty good, but it doesn't look very bonified up here. What I might just do is make up a wee flashing and stick that on over the head of it, just to keep it watertight. But now I have to adjust all them tiles, but that's not a big job, it's only 10-12 tiles. So aye, I've got this tile to cut square, and then I'll just continue the run doing that the way. Ton of work. And all the ridge is done. I'll show you what I actually did with the the ridge. So here's that fancy three-way joint thing. I've just used that gutter mastic, so that's keeping it waterproof to snow. But what I might do is just make up a wee sort of zinc flashing. It'll just be a wee triangular thing, but sort of the hip as well. Wait a minute. Sort of the hip, it's straighter, better. Along that ridge is done, and along this one is done as well. So that's quite a bloody good day's work if I do say so myself. So Saturday tomorrow, I'll probably do that gutter down there for all the time that'll take. Half an hour I thought. Knackered. Well, if you get in and out that video about the zinc, just goes to show you, you don't actually need solder. It's all soldered, but that gutter glue seems to, that's how I did it, so, and it's working, so quite delighted with that. If you get anything out of that video, give us a thumbs up, and if you could subscribe as well, that'd be great. Like I say, tomorrow gutters. Yeah, that'll be it. So have a good weekend, and I'm away for a beer. Good weekend.